Good evening, Super League. Only the most advanced and not super delayed streamers in the house. Apologies for that. Bit of an emergency, but all is good now. We'll do a test and see if you can hear Duggan. Duggan, are you there? I hope everyone can hear Duggan as well. Otherwise, you're gonna have to post in the chat. I'm not sure I can do anything about it, but then at least we will know. So, so the way Duggan, you can keep an eye on the street, Duggan, on the chat, Duggan, and you can see if anyone says anything. So once again, apologies for the delay. That's how things are sometimes. Anyway, we have the whole evening of looking at the wheel ahead of us. So I think we might as well get started, unless there's anything that we should cover first. And did anyone confirm if they can hear you? No Duggan, it says. You had Duggan for lunch. Hmm. All right, well, I can't really sit and mess up. So apologies if you can't hear Duggan. I thought that I'd done the setup correctly. Maybe not. Anyway, so so if it sounds like I'm talking to myself, it is to someone. There is someone here with me. I promise. Right, right, okay. Well, maybe just very quickly. Why is the advanced audio properties? Huh, I'm not smart enough to fix it. Apologies, mate. You're just gonna have to be the typist. Right. Unfortunately, I can't fix the audio for Duggan, so he is just going to be typing. But what you can hopefully see on the screen is a lovely wheel. We will start with the goalkeepers, of course, and over on the other side of the screen, you can see Duggan typing. So here's where all the names are going to go in. Of course, we're not able to show you the whole thing at the same time because it would be tiny. So we will just have to see how it goes. We will run from Alex and then down the line through the managers here, and once we get back to the other line, we'll start from that end and go back. It'll all make sense when you see it. But anyway, I will roll the numbers, and Duggan will do the typing. So first up, to illustrate the point, we have got Alex. Alex needs a goalkeeper from pot one, and to this to establish who that's going to be, we're going to have a spin at the wheel. So hope you're all excited for this. The first draw of the season 19 Super League is going to be a goalkeeper. It's going to be for the Raw Dykes, and it looks like it's going to be Casillas who's going to go in there. So congratulations. I think he is the most decorated Super League goalkeeper. Certainly the one who's appeared in the most finals. Can't remember if he's. Yeah, I think he is. But anyway, congratulations. Mike, you are up next, and you are going to get from pot one. It's going to be Taibi for you. So that's for Mike and his, I forget the name already, Bamboozle something. Alf. Alf is very much keen. Alf hasn't retained, as the only manager, Alf has opted not to retain anyone. Let's see who he's going to get. It's going to be Buffon, probably first choice keeper at Astor. That's a good start for him for sure. That's probably, I don't know if that's the strongest name in the hat here. There's a couple of other good names, of course, but can't complain about Buffon, can you? Next up, it's going to be Cuenca. I'll try and follow along here so you can all see. And that's Steve who's going to get Cuenca. A good time with Haggis until he got upset, which kind of spoiled their season 18. Next up is Dan. Who is he going to get? He had Frey last season, I think it was. He's going to get Kiotis now. It's another solid keeper there. Next up, we've got Tato, and he is going to get Spinny. He is going to get Frey, it looks like. Indeed, it will be Frey going to Tato. Scott doesn't get a pick. Here's how you can see how it works. There are only 12 keepers on the wheel because Scott has chosen to keep Andre. Andre is a pot one pick. I'm not entirely sure why, but fair play, Scott. You did the pots. So so there you go. You get to keep Andre. And we go to Ross and his Miva Town Mustangs, rebranded Sancte. And he's going to get Costanzo, also a decent first choice keeper. I mean, they are all of them, to be completely honest. Campbell should end up with Westerveld, I guess. I think that would be the most appropriate of whoever's left here. And indeed, it's going to be Westerveld. I think he's had him before. Don't know if he had any luck with him, but he's definitely had him before. Steve and the Barra Brava, new Vikings. So no Vikings in the Super League in season 19. He's going to get Oliver Kahn. And then we have got Dimple. He has got a goalkeeper. He's keeping Bartes, obviously. We have got Smuts coming up next, and he is going to get Abiati by the looks of it. So Abiati goes to the Unicorns. And next up we have Duggan, and you can't choose, but you're going to get either Eleftheropoulos or Toldo. Do you have a preference? Toldo it is. Well, that's good. That means that Eleftheropoulos, let's do the wheel just to confirm. Eleftheropoulos goes to Mega Horse and Stackington. And if you stay with Mega Horse, then we are going to go back and I will go to goalkeepers part 2. And there should be 14 keepers in this one because no one has picked. So this will be the second choice keeper for Stackington. It's going to be Peruzzi. Good solid second choice there. And next up, Duggan. I guess you're going to stick with Toldo, so it doesn't really matter. Although Given and Hetman are also two. Dave, that's not a bad. I would have probably gone Given or Hetman in this situation, but not the worst for sure. Smuts is going to end up with this fella, Irigoi, this one, a Basque national, I guess. Dimple needs a second choice for Bartes. He had the Runye, I think, last time out, but Runye is Mondragon. He's going to get as a second choice keeper. I think Runye is in pot number 3. We move on to the Brava boys, Bravas, something like that. They're going to get Massantini, and some lucky fella is going to get Hetman. I think Hetman is a big hit. It's going to be Campbell. Campbell's going to end up with Hetman. Was he not Steve's first choice the whole last season? I think so. And then we have Ross, who's going to have a second choice keeper in the shape of Bonana. I appreciate that these are not like, big hitters. I think people have already got their first choice keeper. They're going to be happy with that. I think it's only really Given that people would be excited for here. We've got Cordoba. Tato's going to get Pellizzoli by the looks of it. And Dan is going to get Shay Given. That's a good fight there. Kiotis and Given. That's a good sort of even situation that they're in there. Steve is going to have Bahia. Dragon's Legend. Alf's second choice keeper is going to be Hansjak Buck. Penalty taker, famously. Mike is going to end up, penalty taker for Hamburg back in the day. Mike is going to end up with Nick Matulin. And that means that Rab Douglas is going to be at the Dykes. We'll just confirm this one before we move to part 3. Part 3 we are going to do obviously in super quick time because literally no one cares, but you have to have a backup keeper, and we're not going to mess around with reserves this time around. So quickly. First up we have for the Dykes, third choice keeper, Paliuka is in there. He's not bad. Burgos, I think it's going to be, indeed, Burgos. Next up is going to be Mike, and he is going to get Runje, formerly of East Coast, big stand-in for Bartes there. Alf, your third choice keeper, is going to be Caballero. And then we're going to have Steve up next and the Dudley. And they are going to have Matteo Sereni as their third choice keeper. Dan is going to end up with... Right. I think he had some games for Exiles this season, if I'm not 100% mistaken. As mentioned again, we're picking third choice keepers here. There's Dida going to the Badgers. Then we have third choice keeper for Scott, and that's going to be Paul Robinson, I think. Third choice keeper for Town is going to be Pleticosa. Stipe Pleticosa, if I'm not mistaken. Campbell's third choice keeper is going to be Marcos, a Brazilian of some sort, I guess. I'm not familiar with him. Ex-Vikings, now Bara Petacek. Third choice for Dimple is going to be Marpum. And Smuts. Waterois. And we still have Vulgaris and Paluca. So you are going to end up with, looks like Paluca. Indeed, an Italian trio for Duggan and his dragons. Not the worst. Not the worst. It's although solid enough. Smuts is already. Oh, there is no transfer market. Sorry. There we go. Oh, Vulgaris. Oh yeah, but I guess we're gonna have to spin him just to verify. Excellent. So as you can see, it goes sort of relatively quickly. And every now and again, it's going to be exciting. For example, now, first choice defenders, DC Pot 1. And let's see who we've got. So the first name in the pot is going to be, and they're going to go to Stackington, by the way. So these are the top tier defenders: Nesta, Rustico, Montero, Maldini. Some of them are a little bit surprised that people didn't retain given this rest of the squad, but who knows? Maybe someone's chosen to pick someone else, and because there are many good ones here, you can obviously gamble on it. And it looks like Kevin Hofland is going to be the first name out of the hat. He is going to go to Stackington. There's obviously a wide variety of first choice defenders here, so I guess you're going to be happy with pretty much anyone. Duggan, I think Rustico's maybe a little bit young. I don't know, but you get Lilian Thuram. You can't really argue with that, can you? Duggan says no. He's not going to argue with it, which is good. Where did Hofland go? Oh, I think we have a problem. All right, we're going to give Smuts Ferdinand. You can write Ferdinand for Smuts. And then I am going to go in and go to my options and go to my remove winners, which I clearly forgotten to do. And who have we picked already? Thuram goes, Rio and Hofland. There we go. Save. Easy fix. It should be fine on the rest of them. I thought I double checked all of them. Clearly not. Anyway, Dimple's going to get Nesta, so he's going to be pleased, I guess. And, and next up we have Barras, and they are going to end up with Maldini. It looks like, yes, Maldini goes to Barras. Campbell doesn't get a Campbell doesn't get a pick because he has chosen to retain Walter Samuel. So we go to Miva Town next, and Ross. He is going to get Pierre Klumpe is going to be on the line. It bounced just to hit Pierre. So that's obviously good. Next is Scott. Who is Scott going to get in his defense? He's going to get Isaac Okoronkwo. And then we move on to Badgers. They are going to get Montero by the looks of it. I mean, these are all good names. I think there's no, you can't really be unhappy with any of these. Dan is up next. He is gonna get Rustico. No, it finishes on Sol Campbell. Sol Campbell goes to Dan and the Gazelles, who are making a comeback here. And then we have Alf, who is going to be Alf's first choice defender, or first name out of the pot. It's going to be Klumpe. Very solid. Next up, we have the battle for Cannavaro. Let's see who gets this one. It's gonna be Mike, which means that Rustico goes to Alex and the Dykes. Or the Rata, or I still don't know what I'm going to call these teams, but anyway, we'll figure it out. DC Pot 2, still plenty of exciting names to look at here. Let me just double check the options. Yeah, remove winners is on. That's good. Um, First up, it is. Oh, there are DMCs. Apologies. Uh, there are so many of these bloody things. There we go. Going to be here all night. First off, defender number two. Defender number two for Alex is going to be out of the hat comes Giuliano. There are some good names in here as well. I mean, they're all pretty good, but there are some really good names in here, I think. I never really rated Martin Lauersen in the game, but if I was to pick anyone that I perhaps didn't want, Mike gets Baldini next to Cannavaro, another Italian pairing. And Alf's second pick, or second draw rather, is going to be. He's going to get Martin Lauersen, just as I say, I didn't rate him. Lauersen and Klompe, do they not. Were they in the same team? I don't know. Did they both play for Smuts? Or did he have someone else? I think they might have been Smuts as defenders. I don't think Lauersen played. Anyway, it'll someone in the chat will know. Um, Next up is Steve. With his super defense from last season, will that continue? He's going to get Mikael Silvestre, who's going to be in there in his defense. Then Dan next to Sol Campbell, he is going to have Ivan Cordoba by the looks of it. Tato is going to have as his second defender. It's going to be Taribo, isn't it? Taribo West for Tato. Bostock Stanley, Scott is going to get Viali, who Alex decided to throw back in the pot at the very last minute. Very solid player there, I think. Um, Ross and his Miba boys are going to get something beginning with L, Lasisi. Big name there. Who's going to be partnering Samuel for Haggis? It's going to be John Terry. And then, do we have any other aging players we can fire over to Steve and his Maldini pick already? Oh, it's going to be Materazzi. That's a solid pairing as well, Materazzi and Maldini. Um, then it's Dimple, and he is going to have as his pot two strike defender, but he's going to have Christian Kibu next to Nesta. Played on opposite sides in Milan, I think. Kibu for Inter, Nesta for the Rossoneri, probably, if I'm not mistaken. Hencho goes to Smuts. And then it's going to be either Yepes or Lucio. I guess you're going to be Camp Lucio, but it's going to be Yepes. Well, it's gonna be this. It's fine because he's gonna go to Mega Horse, so it's all good. He's got Hoffland and Lucio. That's gonna be fine. Maybe he gets someone good from pot three. That's gonna be what we've got coming up here next. Defenders from pot three, down at the bottom somewhere. There's a few good names in here as well. I'm sure. I'm just double checking my remove winners. Yeah, should be checked. Kufre is definitely a big name in there. Valgarin will play well. He did for Maka back in the day, I'm sure. But it's going to be Carmona for Mega Horse. He likes the slightly obscure players, so I think he's going to be happy with that. On the bench for Northern Burn, or in the reserves for Northern Burn, I think in the last season. I recognize the name, never heard about him before. Ayala, who came in and was it Ayala who came in and rescued Fulchester's defense? I remember. It seems to ring a bell anyway. Solid player. Not That's definitely not something to be unhappy about. Next up is going to be Southgate, who's going to go to Smuts. And our third choice for Dimple is going to be Vrede. It's also solid. They're actually solid enough. The pot three here. I don't think there's any like Yeah, yeah. Duggan says there's not much between the pots. I agree, fully agree. Samuel Kufur, going to if he gets a game, he plays well. He does good average rating wise. Gary Neville is still in there. Wes Brown, Horst Valgeren. It's going to go to Campbell. Um, and the third pick for what do you call them for Miva is going to be Marinho. Nope, Lusenhoff. Scott is going to get oh Gary Neville. Badges are going to get Montero and West. That's a solid lineup, and Kufre as well. That's shaping up to be a decent defense for Badgers there. Dan is going to get dum, 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 dum. Marinho. I mean, Steve has to get Chris Perry. Otherwise, there's something wrong. Otherwise, there's something wrong in the universe. Oh, it's going to be Wes Brown, isn't it? Yeah, Wes Brown. Maybe Alf will get Perry instead. Let's see. It's going to be indeed Chris Perry goes to Alf. And then we have either Ugo or Sebastian Mendes. Sebastian Mendes, of course, previously of East Coast, or of East Coast in the last season. Ehiok, was he not at Stanley already? I forget. Possibly. It's going to be Mendes who's going to go to Alex, the rest of them. Good. That's Defenders Part 3 out of the way. That's the first, what, 7 players already assigned. Let's dive swiftly into the last of the central defender pots because we've got DMC1 coming up next, which is going to be something that people will be pretty excited by. This is going to be squad filler, but you do have to have 4 central defenders to make it sort of reasonable in terms of injuries or whatever. Christian Burns goes to Alex. Mike gets bum, 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 bum. Gareth Barry. Fourth choice for Alf is going to be Radoy. And for Steve, it's going to be. Oh, he likes the older boys, doesn't he? Tony Adams. He had a few of the experienced fellas in the squad. Starman, I guess. I guess. Let's see. Panucci, who I like. I don't necessarily think he'll do well in the Super League, but I do like him. He goes to Dan. 26 million in a blind auction for Panucci, I'm told. Seems excessive, to be honest, but Ashley Lythe goes to the Badgers. He'll be delighted with that. Tato will be delighted with that. Scott gets Crosser, which I guess is okay. I don't think anyone's ever played him. Um, Viva gets Fernando Hierro. I do like a bit of Fernando Hierro. Season 1, Season 2 maybe too late already, but let's see. It's going to be Milito to Haggis. Let's see if whoever does the database can edit out his. Is he not the one who starts with a broken leg or something? Or is that my imagination? Yeah, we'll see if someone can edit that out. Let's see. Yeah. History with Haggis, some of the players on that draw. Woodgate to the Barra. Dimble gets Argel. Oh, they say Argel. It kind of sucks being out at the side. You either have like there's too many players to choose from. You don't really know who you're gonna get, or there's only like a few left, and you're like, oh, I don't really want Udese or Novotny, but here we go. Let's see. It's gonna be smart. He's gonna get Simic, who won't feature, I think, ever. Duggan, you're gonna get Novotny, who is also unlikely to feature, but there we are. And Udese is gonna be the last one he's gonna go to. Stackington. That means that Stackington has the benefit of the full, not the benefit because it's still, of course, completely random, but he will be able to dream about all of the people in this particular pot. There aren't that many. I think we have three pre-picks, if I'm not mistaken, four pre-picks, if I'm not much mistaken. How many do we have in the pot here? Do we have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10? We have 10, so that's worked out okay. Good, 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 good. Um, we go back to apologies for this. I'm just messing around with the spreadsheet here. We will go back to the people that we're picking. So as you can see, four people are were keen to retain the players they had at their disposal already in their previous squad, but there are still 10 big names up for grabs here for the DMC role. So first up is going to be Stackington. Say Elias is a huge name in there, of course. Vogel as well is also always very popular. I don't particularly enjoy him, but very popular he is. Simic, Smuts is up next with what I believe is going to be a huge name in Edgar Davids. So he will be delighted. You obviously kept in Duggan, which I think is probably smart. Uh, who is Dimple going to have? He has had Elias in the recent past, I think. Simeone, or is it going to be Ibrahim Said? Said, it's going to be for Bagra, it's going to be uh, Van Bommel. They have Van Bommel. Vikings have Van Bommel. I'm certain of it. I don't think they enjoyed him, but they had him. Jeremy's is at Haggis, so that's all taken care of. And that's going to be Mendieta. The DMC, first choice DMC. He's usually popular, Mendieta. Um, someone that people like to have in their team. Kind of versatile-ish. Gattuso, big name. Uh, can do super well. Can also flatter to deceive. Is that what you're saying? Tomasi stays at Badgers, so they don't get a pick. Exactly. And then you get this AE. You gotta feel a little bit hard done by. Sorry, Dan. Is this AE for you? Stee, you have got. That's a good big paddy. No Vieira lottery this time around. So it's going to be Diego Simone? Simeone, I guess. Either way, I didn't spell check this, so I guess it's Simeone, Diego Simeone. That's going to go to Alf, and that means say Elias doesn't go to Mike, who was happy with Nicky Butt, who is, I think, a very solid. I won't say underrated because I think people know that, but he definitely does well. I'm not sure I would have kept Jelly Cheddar, but I mean he has a funny name, so I guess that's good. Alice gets Elias. I guess that's a dub for him. Let's have a look at part two because there's plenty. Hmm. Hmm. He's in a center mid pot. No, no, that's fine. That's fine. We've had to push people around, as you can imagine. We've had to swap some players around to different pots because they would be top one picks basically in their categories. I think Smut's kind of the only one who really lost out because Totti and Henri for some reason could be kind of in the same. No, Ronaldinho and Totti. I can't remember. Could be in the same pot. So yeah, it's. I think any questions about all of this, it's Scott. I have nothing to do with this other than pressing the button and highlighting the thing. So so please ask Scott if you have any questions. Um. Anyway, there's gold in pot two as well. Absolute gold in pot two as well. Alex is going to get Biscan. This might not be super gold, but anyway, uh, Mike is not going to get a DMC2. He's keeping what he's got. Alf is going to get Kowalczyk. Is he the one who scored goals for East Coast? I think last season. I think in the Super League. I think Dimple really rates him. He's a good goal scoring DMC. It's going to be good for Alf. He needs goal scorers. Let's see. Steve is up next. He's going to get the core. That's a big name from part two as well. Dan, you are going to end up with uh, Ronnie Johnson, Ronnie and Roy Keane back together. I guess they're both at Manchester United at and Desai. There are some big Premier League bruisers of the day in that Gazelle side. Next to Tomasi, Badgers are going to get Kalushny, and Scott is going to get uh, Stevie G. Oh, Charlie Chaos is in there. That's an interesting name. Let's see who's going to be lucky enough to have him in their squad. Ross is going to get Niels Galley, and Campbell is going to get Kalatze, I think. Indeed, it is. And then we have Barra, and that is going to be Milevski. Dimple is going to get Charlie Chaos, because why not? An Exiles legacy player, I guess, could call him. Smuts is going to end up with Paredes, just about. Juan Gomez or Emmanuel Petit. Let's see who. Duggan wants Petit. Well, unfortunately, you're going to have to settle for Juan Gomez. And Petit goes to Stackington. That's a lot. It's a lot of average tackles there. Let's see. Part three. I think there's still players in part three that you wouldn't be like completely negatively sort of uh, minded against. Joey Johnson is the first name out of the hat. He goes to Stackington. And there's a bunch of players in here who are like season whatever regulars. Eric Addo for sure played. Van Bronckhorst can play. Ambrosini is a big pull. Soroczynski can definitely play. Holland played a bunch on the right hand side for Badgers. There are some decent names in here. Oh, Eric Addo, that's not bad. That's not bad. Smuts is gonna end up with it's gonna be Ambrosini. He can't complain about that. Well, he can, uh, but he shouldn't. Uh, Liverani for Dimple, and Ross is gonna get Soroczynski. I'm gonna have to get that Arabi Santana lore because I don't know why he's suddenly a name. Holland goes to Campbell. Ross is getting a treat in the shape of Patrick Paube. We still have Andre Oyer, a bunch of other people in the pot. And I mentioned Andre Oyer, and there he is, going to Scott. Next up, we have Tato. He is going to get dun, 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 GVB. Then to his collection of not big club names. He's going to get Proton from Forest or wherever it is. Stee gets Igor Tudor. Alf gets Michelini. That's a solid player for this round as well. I think he gets numbers. I don't know if anyone really rates him, but I'm sure that either Haggis or Exiles had him and he did brilliantly. Mm, mm. Yeah, indeed. The Rocks transfer stewardship. Eric Rabisandratana for Mike and Da Silva for Alex. We move to pot four. I'm not sure if there's genuine gold in pot four, but there might be some maybe half side coverage or something. Anyway, they have to be dished out. So let's go through them sort of quickly ish. First up is Alex. He's going to get David Batty. Should have gone to Stee, really, shouldn't he? The whole Leeds thing and all that. Next up, we have Rostov. It sounds like yeast in Polish. It's an unfortunate name. Alf gets Omar Tetradze. Moving swiftly along, we get to Stee. He's going to get Smertin. That's not a bad player from pot 4, I think. For Gazelles, they are going to get. Oh, they are not disappearing either, are they? Oh no. Okay. Right. Duggan is just filling me in on who I need to remove. Better. Uh-huh. 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 That's awesome. There you go. I mean, the level of professionalism on display here is kind of staggering. Right. Where are we up to? Dan. He's going to get Welsh. And next up, it's going to be. I wonder if there's no repick built into the wheel, so it could actually just continue and it wouldn't pick the same player again. I don't know. Anyway, Petkov. I don't really want to try and find out. Um, that's going to be Håkon, isn't it? Yes, Mr. Mild. It's going to go to Bostock. And Miva is going to get Firmani. Not Daniel Anderson. Cambiaso. It started on Daniel Anderson, it ends on Cambiaso for Haggis, another former Haggis player. And next up, we have former Vikings with Sean Davis, I guess. Dimber is going to get Peter Sand. I suspect limited game time for Mr. Sand. Smoots. Smoots to Smuts. Very appropriate. You are going to get either Petrov. That's not bad, Petrov. It's not a bad one. Not a bad pull. I would definitely take him over Daniel Anderson, who goes to Stackington. Exciting times now, I guess. Again, because what are we up to now? What is it now? Left-sided. Well, left-sided one. Unfortunately for for the left-sided one pot, it's already been picked over a little bit. I was surprised to see how many players were missing. I mean, I'm not saying many, but there were a few picks out of the left-sided pot. So let's see who ends up at Stackington. It's going to be that's it, isn't it? Candela, or just play them all at ML and just hope for the best. Uh, Candela, who did exceptionally well for Burn in the last season, kind of kept the season alive, even though the season wasn't really ever going anywhere. But Ian Hart is a pot 1 player. Who did this? you, you're gonna have to have words with Scott over this. That's a shame. But there's hope in pot 2, I guess. Ashley Coulter Smuts. What's Ian Hart doing? Did no one did Oh, all right, okay. There's, I guess, there's all-star bias built into the to this. Dimble is gonna get yeah. Nedved is retained by Barras, so it's gonna be Volodenkov who goes to Haggis. Um, and then we have got um, for us, it's gonna be QL or Dede. It just bounces to Dede. Bostock are getting dum dum dum. I think Serginho. Indeed. And then, as you can see, Badgers and Dan have chosen to keep their players, Giggs and Dragatos, which, considering that they were probably like the most creative players last season, is understandable. Steve gets Roberto Carlos again. He will be delighted to be reunited with Roberto Carlos. He was a stalwart for him in this season, I think, along with Cafu on the right hand side. Lizarazu goes to Alf. You've got to be pleased with that. Lizarazu has delivered time and time again in the Super League. Very, very solid on the left side. And then it's either going to be Bauma or Kewell for Mike. He's going to get Bauma, which means that Harry Kewell is going to end up with Alex. So congratulations. I hope you're all happy with your left-sided one picks. We will move swiftly to the left pot two. And double checking, indeed. And first up, Alex. I don't particularly like the look of this left pot two, but I guess there's some in there that aren't terrible. I get it why people don't really play a lot with super wide players. It's kind of difficult again, I guess. It was Sorin in the end. Um, and then we have got send Lee Young Pyo goes to Mike. Alf gets. You should have Toneto really. Kili Gonzalez, maybe. Kili Gonzalez is good. He's got the defensive option and the attacking option with Kili Gonzalez. That's good. Steve is going to get as his second choice. Not that it matters because Roberto Carlos is going to play every single game. I guess it's going to get Overmars. He ain't going to feature. Second choice for Dan. Senden, who played occasionally for both Haggis and for Alex. Did. Sorry, I lost track of time or where I was there. Tato's going to get Placente. Scott is going to get Castillo. That's also an interesting player. I think he was after him in the Super League. I think maybe did he sign him from our league or tried to or something? I can't remember. Someone was looking after him, looking at him. Balashov goes to us. I guess gets Reyes just about. He was at Dimple last season. Dimple is going to get Posancini. And then we've got Oliveira. And you have the choice, not the choice, you have the option of Toneto or Perez. I guess on balance, probably Toneto. A little bit more versatility in Perez, maybe, but a little bit less quality, perhaps. But anyway, um, what have we got next? Right side, pot one. Can I check if I'm with you on this? Oh, I'm just rolling Perez again for no reason. Can we check that? Because here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, how many do we have? Why is this turning? 1, 2, 3. So 3, Sambrota, Ortega. Yeah, you're right. He should be in pot one because we only have 11 names to pick. So if you want to move him up there, we'll spot it. Because I think there's only 11 names in the pot here. Yeah. Good. Good, good, good. I'm glad some of you are awake. Right, do you have a preference out of this? Sorry again for everyone for sounding like I'm talking to myself. Duggan is talking, I promise. He wants Cafu. He says he wants Cafu. Oh, he is coming up. Oh, it's gonna be Contra. Contra is not. That'll do. That'll do. I mean, big burn favorite as featured in several Super League finals as well. That's definitely not a bad pick. Smuts is gonna get Zanetti. It's also a big one. Dimble has kept Sambrota, so he doesn't get a pick. Uh, Cafu goes to the Bara. And Haggis gets Figo, who he actually got. Did he not get a gold out of Figo towards the end of the season? I think he did. Someone did anyway. He moved either to or from Haggis. Forget where it was. Estebaria, good backup. Could be first choice for the OGs. Played wingback at Churchtown to great effect for a short period of time. Um, DMR with a long arrow, if I'm not mistaken. That's an all-star player, isn't it? High cheek. Well, Lucky Tato got him. Mike Duff goes to Dan. Steve doesn't get Cafu. He'll have to get a new partner for Roberto Carlos. It's going to be Salihamidzic. Not sure if that would be my first choice out of this bunch, but Alf is going to get. Is Alf going to get Beckham? Or is he going to get Sowry? Big names. It's going to be Beckham to Asta. And Mike is going to get Sowry. And that means Matavike goes to Alex. Is that the halfway point? Or are we already? No, next time is the half. Oh, we're way past the halfway point. Sorry, I'm losing track here. We're going to get to the exciting part soon. I promise you. Where are we at? Right side, pot two. Central midfielders coming up next. This is going to be. I mean, Emerton is rated, I guess, of the players that are in here. I don't know if any of Shumkoviak, Finnan, indeed, Rayad is in here as well. Let's see who Alex gets. Oh, Christian Senoni. DMRC, something like that. Not the worst, but I guess it's a decent alternative to Mendovikia. Rayad is going to go to Mike. Alf is going to get Didier Garrett. Steve is going to have the pleasure of Luke Chadwick. Dan is going to get Shimkoviak, I think. Indeed. Parfenov. That sounds a bit like a Badgers player. Not sure if he rates him, but could be. Scott is going to get Yakubu. And some poor sod's going to get Dennis Romital out of this. Let's see. First up is going to be Sauli for Amoeba. And I guess it's Sauri. You're going to have to ask Scott. I have no idea who that person is. Not Duggan's problem, apparently. We'll get Scott to confirm if it's Sauli or Sauri, maybe. Gully goes to Haggis. Steve gets Freddie L. And East Coast gets Castroman. I'm hoping we won't get Romidal, to be honest, Duggan. I'll feel sorry. Smart can Smart can have him. I'm sorry, Smart. I don't mean to. It's just because there's only the three of you left. So it's going to be Finnan or Emerton for you. Hmm, that'll do. Covers both sides indeed. Steve Finnan, and that means that Emerton, who isn't a bad pick apparently, goes to Staggington. Had a terrible season with Vikings, but has apparently done well in the past. Excellent, excellent. And now, ladies and gentlemen, central midfielders, pot one. Um, some big names in here. We'll see who gets who. I think there's one or two pre-picks already. But Paul Scholes goes to Stackington. we'll see what our mute co-host Duggan gets in this one. Rui Costa. You could have had Van der Vaart, which I guess, or Zidane, who is going to go to Smuts instead. I mean, there are plenty of despair not if you don't like your central midfielders. There are like central midfielders in the forward parts as well, I think, or something that can be thrown into that in that area. Emerson, previously of East Coast for sure. Um, it's always good when when you give someone like Dimble the best squad. That seems like a seems like a good idea. Yeah, well, Ibrahim Saeed. Anyway, Boyer goes to Barrow. Sorry, we're just chatting about Dimble getting the sort of a reasonable luck of the draw here. Van der Vaart to Haggis. I'm not sure he'll be particularly pleased or interested. Ferguson stays at Meaver Town, so he is not in the pot, as you can see. Next up is Bostock, and they are going to get Riquelme, I think. Indeed, got to be pleased with Riquelme out of this. Badgers are going to have a fun time with Damiano Sinoni. And Steve is going to get out of this Pablo Aimar by the looks of it. And then it's Joe Cole or Christian Doney for Alf. Joe Cole by the looks of it. Which means that Mike is going to have Doney because Alex is retaining Rivaldo from his previous squad. Excellent. Um, Central midfielders pot 2. Oh gosh, there's a pot 3 as well. Um, right, let's go. It's going to be Alex up first. Alex to Alex, maybe. It's always an option. No, it's going to be Romashenko. And Mike is going to get, as his second choice midfielder, is going to get Juninho Paulista. And Alf is going to have Ezequiel Gonzalez. Interesting attacking option there from central mid. For Duggan, it's going to be Ricardinho. Super League winner with Greaves, maybe? Duggan says I'm right. Dan's going to get Dan. It is kind of sad for grown men to sit and remember things that absolutely did not happen 5 years ago. Oh well, that was Guerrero to Gazelles. Rosicky, I guess is the correct pronunciation for. Uh, Look at me with my Slavic accent here. Um, Kaka to Bostock. Oh, Guardiola is in here as well, but it's going to be D'Alessandro to Militao. And next up, it's going to be Clarence Seedorf. I mean, he does occasionally do well, I guess. Justin Walker in there next to Lee Boyer. Um, Dimple. Let's see. He's probably going to get Alex. No, Albertini. So you still have the option of Guardiola or Alex. That's both solid, offer something different, don't they? But Alex is the one you're going to get. That means that Guardiola is going to go to Mega Host there in the end. Um, that brings us to CM3, I guess. CM pot 3. Oh, we have a versatile category as well. Righty. Bit of squad filler here, so let's run through these quickly. Neil Lennon for Stackington. Next up, it's going to be for you. It's going to be Emre. Smuts is going to get Michael Carrick. Dimble is going to get McManaman. Wonderful. Next up is going to be Per Zetterberg for Steve. Haggis is drawing Dalmat, who I had in season 4 with whatever that team was called, Rocket Sloths or whatever. Didn't do well. Me or him. Karagunis to Miva Town. Boateng to Scott, the Vostok. Badgers is going to be Mehmet. And Dan is going to have Balak, I think, is going to be. Yep. Steve is going to get Sebastian Deisler. Asta is going to get Paul Bosveld. And then it's going to be either Ito or Gerard. Gerard is going to be for Mike, and finally Ito for Alex. Moving on to the next category, it's going to be the versatiles. I guess we're up to now. Multi-position is a bit hit and miss. Mostly miss, I'll be honest, but this is to avoid people having too many problems with sort of coverage and all this. So Luis Boermorte is the first name out of the hat. He goes to Alex, to the Raw Dykes, Georgiadis to Stanley, no, to Bamboozle, Stanich to Alf. Steve gets Owen Hargreaves. Then gets out of this bunch Guigu. Did well for Fife back in the day indeed. Martin Reusser of Ipswich fame. Two badges. If you ever do that kind of challenge where you have to like do something like not lose or whatever as Ipswich in like season 1, and you can't sign anyone, he's kind of important. License. Someone was super excited about him, and I don't think he ever really did much in the Super League. I can't remember why he came in. Marco Reymer. It's going to go to Miba. That's why. That's why I remember him. Out of league pick for the Dragons. Mark Bircham, I think it's going to be indeed for Haggis. And then we're going to go with Ravnyenko, Varus. And it's going to be Filipescu for Dimble. Smuts is going to have the pleasure of Stephen Reed. And then it's PMK or Espinal for you. It's going to be PMK. It's going to say I'm probably the preferred choice of the two, and Espinal goes to Stackington. Great. Moving into now it's exciting. Now it's going to be a little bit exciting because we're going to go to the forward one category. And in here is a bunch of good stuff. Back, Brooking, Kalashaks, Collins, Del Piero, Kutuzov. Probably a bit of a dud in there, but anyway, there's some good names. First up is going to be for Stackington, and they are going to get. Um, it's going to be back. well, Duggan says he's crying. We'll see if he's going to be crying even harder now when he get. Oh, if you get Kutuzov, that's. I don't know. Is he as terrible as I think he is? It's good. Oh, okay, okay. Duggan takes him. Hmm. Not the worst. You've got Impensa to score the goals anyway, so no one needs to worry. Let's see who Dimple's going to get. Let's add. Oh, he's going to get Robin again. Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Carl Jacques. Shame he didn't go to Scott, I would say. Who gets Collins? Who gets whatever else is left here? Nikiforenko, I think, is going to go to Haggis. Miva Town is going to get Roy Mackay. And Scott is going to get. I wonder who Scott wants out of these. Probably Saviola, says Duggan. And Saviola it is. And Badgers are going to have to then settle for Collins. I think he likes it, yeah. Duggan agrees. He'll be buzzing with that. Dan, it's going to be Brookink. I kind of hoped Brookink would have gone to Asta, but there we go. Stee is going to get Henrik Larsson. I guess it's not Sebastian Larsson of Sunderland fame. And Alf going to get Del Piero by the looks of it. And Del Vecchio, famously traded for Jens Jeremies in the past, which seems a one-sided deal. Goes to Mike. And last but not least, Ronaldo to Alex. That is your forward pot 1 picks done, which means that we can move to forward pot 2. And we can start with, for Alex, and his very Leicester-inspired team, Gustavo Lopez. That was Gustavo Lopez talking, not Giovanni. That's okay. Oh, that's fine. That's why we're here. That's why there's two of us. That's a shame. Casano goes to Mike. Asta gets as their second pick forward. It's going to be Franca. He's had him before. And next up, Steve is going to get. What's Ebesan doing in here? Yusuf Hersi or Harasimovic. It's going to be Harasimovic. Dan is going to have Ebesan. Brooking and Ebesan. That's not a top draw pick, I have to say, out of those two pots, but my personal opinion. Cabello. Collins and Cabello. Two kind of like, we'll say not traditional big names, but both of them can definitely do a job. Brosek for Scott. He's going to be fairly happy with that. It's Brosek and Saviola, I guess. And Agahawa is still a big name in here. Edilson, who also scored goals for Fife, maybe, or someone back in the day, or for Haggis. I don't remember. I think he was brought in as an outer league at some point. Anyway, Landon Donovan, who, as I am sure I will have told all of you on many, many occasions, are the player in the game that has the stats closest to Tsigalko. If you set up the filters, you tweak and tweak and tweak, you get both of them. But there must be something in the background that means that one of them is genuine garbage and the other one isn't. So there we go. Yeah, Duggan was going to say someone had to point out that that was garbage. And indeed, I pointed it out myself. Through hours of testing, I've established that. Agahawa goes to Steve Bonser and the Bauer boys. He's going to be delighted. Big name for Dimple. He's going to get Yusuf Hersi. Smuts is going to get Olisa Debe. And then you can have either Robbie Keane or Giovanni. And I think it's going to be Giovanni. And finally, Robbie Keane 2. Staggington. Excellent. Good. And now, I think to keep it interesting, we're probably going to go, if I can get to go down to the bottom line first, let's go with striker 3. Just so we're keeping the main course. I know that some of you already, like 5 of you already have your first choice striker, so we'll keep the excitement to the end with the rest of the strikers, and we'll go with Stackington, and we'll go with a third choice striker here, and that's going to be Martin Palermo. Um, as mentioned, this is your third choice striker. He has Vieira, of course. He's not going to complain. You have Impenta. You're not going to complain. Who are you going to get? Fernando Torres. Not a bad pick. Maybe for season 1, not ideal, but he's going to come into his own for sure if you give him a bit of playing time. Pizarro, who's maybe a bit harshly in category 3, I think he's probably. I mean, that's one thing I kind of regret that we haven't really tracked, but like season top scorers, I think Pizarro is the record holder from one of the season 1 to 3, something like that. Best goal to game ratio in competitive champ all stars apparently. Santa Cruz, third choice for Dimble. We've got uh, Hussein going to Barra. We have got sorry, that was Dario Hussein, wasn't it? I think it was Dario Hussein. Yeah, no, that's me just being a little bit. I have no idea what or who that is, but he goes to Haggis. Okay. I should have fucking guessed. Rock's favorite. Luisao still there. He goes to Miva Town as a third choice striker. Um, let's see what else is there. Scott gets Diego Forlan. Um, Badges gets Slatan. Almost CC Roberts, but he gets Slatan. Who gets CC Roberts? Will it be Dan? Potentially. Nope. Andrew Cole or Andy Cole. I was going to say, like 3 years ago, I found out that some people actually called him Andrew Cole. I'd never heard that before in my life. CC Roberts to uh, Steve, uh, Comandini to Alf, Saha, I think, to Mike, and finally Romeo to these other guys, Rodikes. Striker Pot 2, interesting names in here for sure. Um, doesn't Batistuta retire and like early on? Anyway, Trezeguet, Kluivert, Trezeguet, and Romeo. First team completed. It's going to be the Raw Dykes because they have no further players to pick. Um, so that's squad number 1 done and dusted. Mike will still have another pick after this, or another draw after this. He's going to get Tom Madeira as his second choice striker. Alf is going to get Alan Smith, I guarantee you. Nope, it's going to be Viduka. And Stee is going to complete his lineup here, and who is going to be his second choice striker? It's going to be Giovanni Elba. So Stee is the second team, Dudley Hill the second completed team this evening. Dan is going to get Batistuta. Oh, Constantino is in here. I mean, oh, I've said it out now loud. Someone's going to get him. Who's it going to be? Well, this is going to be Salas. He's going to go to Badgers. Scott is going to get, let's see, Kessman. There are some goal scorers in here. I mean, Owen got a bunch of goals for some reason suddenly, uh, for badges, obviously. Last but not least, for Miva Town, they are completing their squad as well. It's going to be Rossini who's going to be the partner, along with Luisao for Crespo. That's not a bad striking lineup. And we're going to go to Haggis. They're going to get Diego Tristan. It's probably one of the poorer picks out of this pot. And Constantino's still in the pot. Or is he? No, he goes to Bara. That means that Owen. I don't know who's the big name in here. Owen, Amoroso. Someone's going to end up with Alan Smith. Three squads all to be completed. Did Amoroso not disappear? Oh, he will disappear now. Sorry. Smuts is going to complete his squad with Alan Smith. You are going to get mm, Michael Owen by the looks of it. And finally, it's going to be Luca Toni, who's going to partner Vieri and Martin Palermo for stacking turn. So let's move back. Dimple is going to be the first manager to draw from pot one of the strikers, which will conclude the proceedings this evening, and the finalization of all the squads. As you can see, there's not a lot of not a lot of people in here to distribute. Anelka, Van Nistelrooy, Shevchenko, Raul, Morientes, Montea, Inzaghi, and Henri. It's gonna get Vincenzo Montella. It's pretty solid. It's looking pretty solid. At least one good goal scorer in there. Shevchenko is going to go. Oh, they had Shevchenko and had poor luck. He got injured, but he did score some goals. So I guess they're going to be sort of relatively pleased. You can't be too unhappy with that. It's going to be Thierry Henry for Haggis. Crespo is already at Miva. Scott is going to wait patiently to find out who he is going to get here. Maybe Raul. It looks like Raul, Kessman, Brosek, Saviola. Not bad. Bad. Each squad with its own sort of unique qualities. There's Morientes. He goes to Tato. Morientes, Salas, and Slatan. Well, it's got to be Collins from AMC getting all the goals there. I think that's uphill for Tato, isn't it? I mean, Morientes did well for Hodgie back in the day. Giggs, yeah, that's true. It's gonna be okay, I guess. I guess. And Morientes got a bunch of goals for Hodgie back in the day. Anelka, Batistuta. Decent, decent. I think overall the squads. I mean, fair play to Scott for this. I mean, the parts. I know that a lot of other people had their input because it's part of All Stars and all this, but I think Van Nistelrooy to Alf, he's going to be well pleased with that, and that means Inzaghi to Mike, and he's going to be happy with that. As mentioned there, big thumbs up to Duggan first of all, for joining me this evening to helping out with this, and super big thumbs up to Scott as well for all of the admin. Um, it's kind of 11:15, so I don't want to spoil the celebrations. We'll make sure you get the squats out as soon as possible. I'm going to call it tonight. Apologies for the slightly later start. I hope you enjoyed the draw. I'll have to go and read through the comments now on YouTube. Um, Duggan, once again, thank you very much for your help. And yeah, squads will be shared with you very shortly, and further details to follow in the morning about how you pick your remaining 8 players. If you want to pick them, you can also have them assigned automatically, etc., etc. All will be shared in the not too distant. So thank you very much, Duggan. Thank you everyone for playing along. Good night, everyone.